Lakeista Brown's family were in court today to watch as her killer was sentenced. Tamel Hasidi showed no emotion as Judge Sheila DiTullio handed down a sentence of 25 years to the 32-year-old. Hasidi pleaded guilty to first-degree manslaughter for killing his ex-fiancée, Lakeista Brown.
Imagine entrusting your life to a doctor, a man who seems to have your best interests at heart.
Well, now to a man sentenced as a cold-blooded killer. Some years back now, he murdered his young wife and came within a whisker of getting away with it. His only mistake was the death of his second wife. Danny Isdale talked to the Sydney cop who hunted him down, and a mother still mourning her lost daughter.
You believe in his skills, in his compassion, in his desire to heal.
It's a book many of us have read called In Cold Blood. It's author Truman Capote's account of the brutal killing of a Kansas farm family in 1959. Now the bodies of the killers are being exhumed.
Now imagine, with this trust, you unknowingly place your life in the hands of someone who is secretly plotting your death. This is the chilling and unfathomable story of Dr. Harold Shipman, a man once revered as a healer, who became one of the most prolific serial killers in history. Over the course of 23 years, Dr. Shipman operated undetected, claiming the lives of over 250 patients in a small English town. It wasn't until a single mistake unraveled his meticulously concealed crimes that the horrific truth was revealed. How did this trusted physician, this supposed guardian of life, commit such heinous acts without raising suspicion? And what was this simple slip-up that finally brought him to justice? The journey to medicine. Dr. Harold Shipman's story began, like many others, with a dream of helping people. Born at Nottingham in 1946 to a working-class family, Shipman's early life was shaped by modest beginnings. As a young man, he pursued a career in medicine, driven by the ambition to make a difference. By 1970, he graduated from Leeds School of Medicine, full of promise, and ready to begin his journey in healthcare. His first job was at Pontefract General Hospital in Yorkshire, where his career started on what appeared to be a respectable and conventional path. But as with many dark tales, the cracks began to show early on. A dark secret. By the mid-1970s, Shipman's medical career took a troubling turn. He developed an addiction to diamorphine, the medical form of heroin, which would later play a pivotal role in his descent into darkness. His need for the drug led him to forge prescriptions, a crime that would eventually cost him his job. In 1974, Shipman was dismissed from a medical center due to this addiction, but instead of ending his career, this moment became a dark turning point. Rather than facing permanent repercussions, Shipman attended a rehabilitation program, which allowed him to keep his medical license, and most terrifyingly, offered him a second chance. A second chance he would exploit in the most sinister way imaginable. The small-town doctor. In 1977, Shipman relocated to Hyde, a small town near Manchester, where he became a general practitioner at Donnybrook Medical Center. His reputation grew quickly, especially among elderly patients, who saw him as a dedicated and caring physician. He often went the extra mile, making house calls and taking the time to listen to their concerns. His compassionate demeanor earned him the trust of many, so much so that some of his elderly patients even gave him the keys to their homes. This trust would become his most lethal weapon. The dark plan. Under the guise of care, Shipman began to target the most vulnerable members of society. Elderly patients, particularly those who lived alone or had little family support. In the privacy of their homes, he administered lethal doses of diamorphine, a powerful opioid that he used to cause death, all while presenting himself as a compassionate doctor. After each death, Shipman would sign off on death certificates, attributing the cause to old age or natural causes, ensuring no suspicion fell on him. To further cover his tracks, he frequently suggested that his patients be cremated, eliminating any physical evidence of foul play. For over 2 decades, Shipman's facade of normalcy held strong, even as the death rates in his practice rose higher than average. A growing concern. In 1998, Dr. Linda Reynolds, a fellow physician working at a nearby clinic, noticed something alarming. Shipman's clinic had an unusually high death rate, almost 3 times higher than other local practices. Her concerns led to a preliminary investigation, but it ultimately went nowhere due to the lack of concrete evidence. It seemed impossible to imagine that such a trusted figure could be guilty of such grave crimes, but the tide was about to turn, and the unraveling of Shipman's deadly plot was soon inevitable. The slip-up. The critical mistake that would expose Dr. Shipman came when Angela Woodruff, a solicitor and the daughter of one of Shipman's victims, Kathleen Grundy, became suspicious of her mother's sudden death. Shipman had claimed that Kathleen had died of natural causes, but Angela soon discovered a will that had been altered to leave her mother's entire estate to none other than Dr. Shipman. The handwriting and phrasing of the will seemed inconsistent with her mother's style, raising red flags. Angela alerted the authorities, and what followed was the start of a deeper investigation into Shipman's practices. The unmasking. Kathleen Grundy's body was exhumed, and forensic testing revealed what no one had expected: lethal levels of diamorphine in her system. This discovery set off a chain reaction, prompting police to investigate Shipman's medical records, which they found had been falsified to cover up his tracks. As the investigation deepened, it became clear that Shipman had been killing his patients for years, systematically and without remorse. The shocking revelation. In September 1998, Dr. Harold Shipman was arrested. The evidence against him was overwhelming, and as police uncovered more and more bodies linked to his practice, the true extent of his crimes came to light. By January 2000, Shipman was convicted of 15 murders and 1 count of forgery. But these were only the cases that had been thoroughly investigated. Further inquiries suggested that he had killed at least 218 people, with some estimates putting his total victim count above 250. The revelation of his crimes shocked the world and left the families of his victims reeling with grief and disbelief. A dark mark on the medical profession. The arrest and conviction of Dr. Shipman left a lasting scar on the medical community. His betrayal of the trust placed in him as a healer was incomprehensible, and the families who had lost loved ones to his calculated killings struggled to understand how such a respected figure could be responsible for such horror. Shipman's crimes led to significant changes in the UK's medical and legal systems, including stricter death certification processes and more stringent monitoring of medical professionals. While justice was eventually served, the scars left by his actions would never fully heal. What drove Shipman? Despite his conviction, the true motivations behind Shipman's horrific actions remain shrouded in mystery. Some experts speculate that his killings stem from a deep-seated need for control. By deciding who lived and who died, Shipman may have satisfied a psychological compulsion to assert dominance over others. Others point to the trauma of his youth. His mother's death from cancer and her use of morphine in her final days may have led him to associate the drug with relief and mercy, distorting his perception of what constituted compassion. Still, some theorists suggest financial gain played a role, given his attempt to forge Kathleen Grundy's will. However, many of his victims left behind no significant estates, suggesting that not all of his murders were financially motivated. The doctor who became a monster. The story of Dr. Harold Shipman serves as a chilling reminder of the dangers that can arise when trust is misplaced, especially when it's placed in those who hold great power and responsibility. His case underscores the necessity for vigilance and accountability in every aspect of life, even when those we trust appear to be above reproach. But the question remains, what drove Shipman to commit these heinous acts? Was it a need for control, unresolved grief, or something even darker? Share your thoughts and join us as we continue to explore history's most unsettling mysteries. Dr. Harold Shipman's reign of terror is a grim reminder of how easily trust can be shattered, even in the hands of someone sworn to heal. His story shook the world and forever changed the way we view medical professionals. But the story doesn't end here. We've only scratched the surface of some of the most horrifying killers in history. In our next video, we dive into the shocking case of a teen killer who left the entire country in disbelief. This teen's crimes shocked the nation to its core, leaving everyone asking, how could someone so young commit such chilling acts? Don't miss it. Make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you're the first to know when it drops. Trust us, you won't want to miss what's coming next.